Zhiguli, Russia's greatest beer,
Yeah, it is actually.
and Russia's greatest car.
Yeah.
Welcome to Russia.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much.
Matt here is a big fan of Zhiguli Russian Soviet beer. It's produced actually in my place where my cousins live.
Really?
Yeah, Voronezh. I think so.
Yeah, it's nice actually. It's a nice beer. Yeah, we're not eating. Are you eating? Are you hungry?
No. Here's the compote that you know already.
Yeah.
You guys are almost like locals, right?
A little bit. But it's Moscow's so hard to get around in comparison to the...
You guys in jackets?
I know.
We've got a t-shirt on.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Finally, right?
What do you think about that one?
it's awesome.
Cool, right?
But you should have been there. You both like football, right? Or just you?
More me than her. She likes football, but
You should have been there.
Was it really good?
But I left after half because time schedule.
of course.
Yeah.
I left earlier so I could do a stream for what? I don't know. Let's talk about it later.
You've been so busy.
And then last night was CSKA Locomotive, I think.
Yeah.
That would have been
In
crazy.
St. Pete though, right? Scott. TSK.
CSKA.
Yeah, then
that's
it's
Locomotive.
Moscow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear your experiences.
Light.
And then she went, do you want two Zhiguli light?
Light?
Yes.
They have light.
Yeah, I think so.
Light lager, yeah, it's nice.
It's really nice. And it's 300 rupees.
Jiguli was
It's
also...
basic, yeah, it's good.
Uh,
Такое же.
Yeah, can't wait to hear all about your adventures.
No, I want to hear about your what. This is basic for me. But I'm like literally, guys, exhausted. I
You're getting your
shot.
shot.
I got it. Sorry. Quality is not my best main thing. You did? Looking fresh?
Is it actually him?
So guys, this is Zhiguli Bar, which is Dabble and Travel's Matt's favorite, at least for sure. Russian Soviet beer. We want to know, how did Dabble and Travel actually feel coming here for the first time into Moscow, and what is the experience seeing what I would say the greatest city in the world? So guys, what did you think about Moscow? What is your first impressions? You gotta do your own video, of course, but this is an interview for experience of Moscow.
Big.
It is.
Like very big.
I don't think we anticipated it to be almost like an Asian city. In size, it reminds us very much of like Tokyo.
Yeah, I was saying it when we were exploring. It's like when you're in Tokyo and you get the metro for like 30 minutes and you go, oh, I'm going to be outside the city now. You get out and you're like, no, this is like city centre still. It's quite overwhelming and surreal, because I suppose when a lot of us think of Russia, you think of Red Square, you think of the Kremlin, you think of St. Basil's Cathedral. So being there was like something that I'd always seen as a child. Maybe the stereotypical side of Russia, but yeah, still quite weird to be here now. And the fact that instead of the tourist side,
it's also very overwhelming that we are here right now. There's so much to see in this city, and for us to be here, it's hard to find like things to do because there's so many things to do.
Yeah, you can get lost. You can definitely get lost. With everything that's going on at the moment, current situation, you wouldn't notice it. You walk around and normal life is continuing.
Like right now.
Like about to have a Zhiguli beer.
Yeah, Zhiguli, the restaurant that's in the Arvat area, it's absolutely full right now. It's a bit like a Solovaya, so like a canteen. But yeah, like Matt said, you wouldn't know that there's anything going on. I think it's also really difficult for people to maybe see this and picture it in their heads. Like us, we didn't know what to expect really. We knew that like life was existing, but we didn't know how it was going to be.
And you can see Lenin.
Yes. So today we went to Lenin's mausoleum, which was something.
Is it actually him, or is it a mannequin?
I didn't know that you could actually go and see Lenin. You did.
I did.
But it was such a unique experience. Kind of weird that like a group of grown adults is going to sort of walk and stare at a embalmed body. But so fascinating. We've seen Lenin statues in many countries around the world. We've seen them everywhere here in Brazil. And to then go and see him, it's been like 100 years now.
100 years.
101
years since we sat. A lot of the other stuff around Red Square is quite expensive. For free, you can go in, see Lenin, be on the walls of the Kremlin,
Yeah, really.
see Stalin's grave, see Yuri Gagarin. Very cool, very cool. I got football now.
Quite like that though. Oh. Yeah, we have. Sorry.
The mic drop isn't over. Zhigulin, Russia's greatest beer,
Yeah, it is actually.
and Russia's greatest car. So they stopped producing in 2012.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know more. You did your research.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome to Russia.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. Do you know Russian stereotypes? Ask us stereotypes.
Yeah.
See if we agree.
There's a lot of stereotypes about Russia and about Moscow, and I'm gonna throw out throw up and throw up later.
You have
Few
to
questions.
questions.
So the question is, I would say one of the stereotypes about Moscow is it's the city of wealth and money. Have you seen that on the streets?
Yeah, I think you can.
Yes.
I think it's like you can. It's like every city in Europe. It's going to have areas that are rich. It's going to have the rich, middle class, working class, and it's going to have the poor. Like you're going to find in every European city around the world. But if you come to the very centre, there's some very impressive buildings, some cars.
What about people? People.
People.
Do you know what? What we have seen in this particular area in Arbat, we've seen a lot of like Porsches. We've seen
A lot of Middle Eastern wealth.
a lot of Middle Eastern
A lot
ones
of
as
rich
well.
Middle Eastern tourists that I wasn't necessarily expecting to see, but it seems like it's obviously a big market at the moment.
But we obviously don't have the wealth to be mixing with elites in Moscow. But from the streets, what we've seen is people driving fancy cars. You can obviously tell people that have money because they maybe dress a certain way, and they dress a certain way. But I think it would be difficult for us to know people that had wealth, more wealth than like middle class, wouldn't it? If we were just walking around, because we're not really mixing in that circle at all. So only on the streets have we seen the fancy cars, and there's been a lot of them, like a lot of Porsches. There was a Lamborghini yesterday,
Yeah, but you see that in all centres.
but you see that in all centres. Yeah, you could go to London and see that as well. So
Russia, Moscow is the capital of Russia and power. Have you seen like political power on the streets? You know, cars with black tinted windows, police escorts. You see that? Yeah.
that's the one thing that we've seen so much of. We have touched on that, hasn't it?
Yeah,
There's been
a
a
lot.
huge police and military presence, which we were not expecting, because you don't have that in London.
No, yeah, there's a lot of private escorts going around. Obviously, especially near the Kremlin,
Yeah.
which was interesting to see. I don't know if it puts you on edge slightly, not on edge, but you're just like, oh, who is that? What's going on?
You almost don't want to speak when you walk past them. You know,
Yeah.
just for fear that they might, like, I don't know, just try and speak to you or work out why you're here.
Yeah,
just
but
anything in general that just puts you on edge.
probably the most in a day, the most I've ever seen in terms of private escort or like
And
motorcades.
they're driving backwards and forwards constantly, and you're just walking along the street and you're like, there's another one, there's so many.
Yeah,
You
there's
don't
been a
see that
lot.
in Buckingham Palace?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Not
Horse
that
and
often.
cart.
Yeah, horse and cart.
Another short one. Moscow. People are in a hurry, rude, unpolite. Is it true? Based on your first experience.
I don't
That's in
know.
all cities.
Yeah, I think all big cities, people are in a rush. I don't know. I think the stereotype is that Russians are very like emotionless, harsh. But I think they're misunderstood. I think it's just normally a language barrier. That once you break that language barrier, you'll notice that they're just the same as all of us. They enjoy having a beer, enjoy having a laugh.
I think also British people, we're also quite shy. I think Russians are also quite shy.
Shy,
So
yeah.
there's some similarity in the way that we act. Like, you're not openly going out of your way to maybe speak to someone, but
Yeah.
they do make sure that they help you.
Whenever we pass, someone tries to
Yeah.
help. Everyone tries to help, 100%. I think, yeah, definitely the
Misunderstood.
people are massively misunderstood.
You have been to both Moscow and St. Petersburg. So far, which one do you prefer more? They're very different in atmosphere.
It's a difficult question. I think having only one day in Moscow so far and maybe a few in St. Petersburg is kind of unfair comparison.
Yeah.
Also Moscow being the capital is also an unfair comparison because capitals are always going to be more difficult to navigate, busier,
Bigger, busier, more
chaotic.
traffic.
I don't know.
But I feel like if I was to live in one of the two, I feel like it would be Moscow because there's more districts. So I could find a district that's like 20 minutes outside the city on the metro, and it'd be like a new hit because there's I walk around, you see so much construction.
Yeah.
So I presume in Moscow there's a lot more districts to pick from than St. Petersburg. But maybe, I don't know, as a tourist, I felt like tourist-wise, St. Petersburg was easier to navigate for a tourist.
Definitely.
Is everything expensive in Moscow?
No, more expensive than St. Petersburg.
It is, yeah.
I thought so.
Maybe because we're just in the tourist areas, I do find that it is more expensive
like double the
here.
price
Double
so
the
far.
price so far. And I feel like in St. Petersburg they have Stolovaya #1 everywhere. So
There's a lot more.
There's a lot more
Maybe we
options.
haven't explored
Yeah.
all of Moscow, but I felt like in the historic centres of both, there was more like cheap, affordable food, restaurants, bars in St. Petersburg than I found in Moscow.
yeah, I agree.
And the last question, guys. I forgot to ask this in St. Petersburg, but how can Brits visit Russia just like you did?
So for us, obviously, we need a visa. So you're going to have to go. We went to not the Russian embassy, but the Russian visa center in London. You can either pay for like a fast tracked or the general one. The general one's like I think 3-4 weeks, and the fast track's like 3-4 days. And then obviously flights. There's no flights right now. So if someone is thinking of coming, you're not going to be able to fly direct. You can either fly to London, from London to Serbia, London to Istanbul, and then to Moscow or St. Petersburg, or fly to Estonia and cross the border that way. And actually, we wouldn't have known any of this
You don't have to say that.
No, I can say some. We obviously we did a lot of research before, and Igor was one of the top videos that popped up showing us how to get in, things to do, things to see, food to eat, beer to drink. We'd be lost.
To be fair, Igor in Russia has a range of videos. You put so much effort in, so there's so much content to find things to do here. I think we would definitely have been lost without it because
Yeah,
a lot of the information online is dated. I think that's really important to note. And all the blogs you read, they're like 5 years old
Why am I
now.
holding it for you?
Yeah, why are you holding it for me? All the blogs are like 5 years old now, so the stuff that you have on your channel is recent.
Because there isn't, especially as there isn't obviously many people coming
Yeah.
right now from the West, so it's not that easy. It's our choice to be here right now, but if we didn't manage to see Igor's content, i.e. how to pay for hotels, how to
Across
cross the
the border.
border, there are some challenges, but they're pretty easily overcome if you know the way to mitigate against the certain restrictions.
All right, guys, I wish you the great experience in Russia and across Russia. Guys, check out Dabble and Travel YouTube channel for Russia and all around the world experiences right after this. And we hope you have a great experience around Russia. And let me know if you need any help. I'll be, no matter where I am, I'm going to try to help you out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys also in Russia or somewhere else.